Quebec, Canada, 2024. Karl von Habsburg is standing in front of a safe deposit box. He is the great-grandson of an emperor, a politician, an entrepreneur, the head of his family. And he has no idea what he's about to find. Next to him, two cousins he barely knows, and a Viennese jeweler whose family has worked for the Habsburgs since 1814. The lock clicks. The door swings open. What he sees has been sitting there for over 80 years. Untouched. Unopened. Left there by his grandmother. To understand what's inside that box, you have to go back. To a different night, a different city, a different century. Vienna. November 1st, 1918. The empire is collapsing. The republic is about to be proclaimed. And Emperor Karl I issues his final order. He doesn't call a general, not a minister. He sends for Count Leopold Berchtold, his Lord Chamberlain, the man who, as foreign minister 4 years earlier, had pushed Franz Joseph into declaring war on Serbia. The order: save the jewels. Berchtold enters the treasury of the Vienna Hofburg alone, in the middle of the night. He opens display case 13 and starts packing. What he wraps in newspaper is not ordinary jewelry. The Florentine, 137 carats, yellow, roughly the size of a walnut. Once owned by the Medici in Florence, it came to the Habsburgs through marriage. Franz Stephan of Lorraine, the husband of Maria Theresa, had it set into his imperial crown. Maria Theresa gave it its name. It was considered one of the largest diamonds in the world. Where it was, until very recently, nobody knew. The emerald clock, a gift from Maria Theresa to her daughter Marie Antoinette, the woman who later died beneath the guillotine. The object outlived her by centuries. The diamond crown of Empress Elizabeth. Gold, silver, diamonds, pearls. 8 tines shaped like lilies. A contemporary wrote, "The crown pressed down upon her head. Sisi hated it." 50 more pieces besides. 53 objects in total. 14 from Zita's private property. 39 from the Habsburg-Lorraine family treasure. Who carries something like this through the night in 2 handbags? Someone who knows he isn't coming back? 2 bags. 1 train. Over the border before dawn. Display case 13 stands empty. The state treasury remains. The family jewels are gone. Berchtold deposits the bags at the Swiss National Bank in Zurich. His task is done. Karl abdicates. He leaves Vienna. The family follows him into exile. First Schloss Warteg on Lake Constance, then Villa Prangens on Lake Geneva. No income, no pension. The Western powers had promised to pay the exiled emperor 20,000 British pounds a year. That promise was never kept. The jewels are the only thing they have. In 1921, in Bern, Bruno Steiner de Valmont appears, former financial advisor to the assassinated Archduke Franz Ferdinand, a man with connections and with discretion. He is to sell the jewels quietly on Karl's behalf. Karl authorizes sales, controlled, selective. Certain pieces may go, others may not. The Florentine, absolutely not. It is stored separately, together with the emerald clock and Sisi's brooch, out of Steiner's reach. Steiner makes contact with Alphonse de Sondheimer, a Bern gem dealer. The stones are broken from their settings. Tiaras, necklaces, crowns, taken apart. Steiner collects a 10% commission Karl is never supposed to know about. He keeps the precious metal from the settings for himself. Then Karl sets out for his second restoration attempt in Hungary. He believes if he returns as king, he can reclaim everything. He fails. The Allies banish him as far away as possible. Madeira. The safe deposit box in Bern is left unattended. Steiner appears again, this time with a Parisian diamond dealer, Jacques Bienenfeld. He claims to be authorized. Sondheimer believes him and pays out the proceeds. Steiner disappears. When Zita arrives in Bern weeks later, pregnant, to collect the children, the box is empty. Cece's diamond crown, the rose necklace of Maria Theresa, gone. Zita maintained until her death. It was theft. The Bern jeweler saw it differently. The truth lies somewhere in between. In 1923, Steiner is arrested. He had sold the jewels on his own account. Zita sues him in 1926. What he took never comes back. April 1922. 3 months after Zita's return, Karl dies on Madeira, 34 years old, of pneumonia, in a villa lent to them free of charge. They could no longer afford hotel rooms. Zita is 30, pregnant with her 8th child. No country, no money, and a secret she carries alone. The Florentine, the emerald clock, and Cece's brooch. She still has them, untouched. 1940. The Nazis are pursuing the family. They are living in Belgium at the time. The Gestapo bombs their house. Zita flees through Spain, Portugal, across the Atlantic. She takes a small brown leather suitcase with her. Inside, the Florentine, the emerald clock of Marie Antoinette, Cece's brooch in Hungarian colors, everything Steiner could never reach. Quebec, 1940, a safe deposit box, a suitcase she shows to no one. Zita is 48 years old. Karl has been dead for 18 years. 8 children, no country, no throne. She lives in different countries, the United States, later Luxembourg. The children grow up. Otto becomes a politician, fights against Hitler, later serves as a member of the European Parliament. The others scatter across Europe. Zita never speaks about the suitcase, not to her children, not to historians, not to journalists. How do you keep a secret this size for 50 years? By telling no one. Only 2 sons are told. Robert, Rudolf. No one may speak until 100 years have passed since Karl's death. Zita dies in 1989, 96 years old. The secret goes with her to the grave. The 2 sons keep their promise. Shortly before their own deaths, they pass it on to their sons. The rest of the family knows nothing. For decades, Karl von Habsburg is asked about the Florentine. Historians, journalists, the curious. He answers every time, honestly, I don't know, because it's the truth. Then, in 2024, the phone rings. Lorenz and Simeon of Habsburg-Lorraine, the sons of Robert and Rudolf. Get in touch. The promise has been fulfilled. The 100 years are over. Karl travels to Quebec. With his cousins, with the Viennese jeweler, Christoph Kuchert. The same box, the same bank. The lock clicks. Kuchert sees the Florentine. He holds it in his hands. He says, "It was a sublime moment. Perhaps one you experience only once in a lifetime." The cut pattern matches historical records exactly. No doubt, Karl von Habsburg makes a decision. The treasure stays in Canada, not in Austria, the country that expropriated the family, but in the country that gave Zita refuge. Austria files a claim. The Republic argues the Habsburg Law of 1919 declares all family property state property. The family counters, the jewels were already in Switzerland when the law came into force. They are private property, not state assets. The lawyers argue the Florentine sits in Quebec and waits, but Cici's crown, along with the tiara, numerous other pieces are still missing, including the rose necklace of Maria Theresa, possibly cut apart by Steiner and sold piece by piece, possibly hidden somewhere, in another safe deposit box, in another suitcase, in another city. Nobody knows. Karl von Habsburg says, the search goes on. In 2024, Karl von Habsburg closed the safe deposit box again. What was inside had been waiting for him for 80 years. What's missing may still be waiting.